This is my 23-foot long pontoon boat that I've been building from the ground up. Had to take a little bit of a break on it. I'm going to explain why I had to do that here in a second. But doesn't it look good? Doesn't the fencing look good? This is the main reason I've been held up. Let me explain. This is my pontoon boat that I've been building from the ground up. These pontoons, they may look a little different. They are white and they're made of a polyplastic from pontoonwholesalers.com. Pontoonwholesalers.com has started selling kits for tritoons, and that is what this is. This whole kit comes shipped straight to your door, easy to install. They all piece together, as you can see by the different pieces. You can adjust the sizing you want, but for my pontoon, we have 6 pieces on each side. All of them link together and slide into these railing pieces that also get shipped. And then you piece it all together with cross bracing. Then you have a full lightweight pontoon, easy to install, easy to build, right to your doorstep. They even offer tritoon kits that will fit directly onto your normal existing pontoon with like the aluminum sides. Bolts right up to any kind of pontoon you have, and then slide right in and create a tritoon. Very easy to install. Anyone can do it in less than 2 hours. For this application with a full boat, takes a little bit longer, 2 hours, but still the same concept, and it's pretty easy to install. Now all that is very cool, very unique, but what makes this pontoon even better, you see these pontoons, they're white, they're translucent, and they actually have lights installed at the very top, so the whole pontoon themselves actually lights up whatever color you want. I don't believe there's any company in the United States that offers this. I'm showing you some videos of it now. It's hard to explain how bright this is. In person, it lights up my whole backyard. It's very cool, and I'm excited to show it on the water. First, we gotta get it there though. Now that you're caught up to speed on what this is, let's talk about what's holding me up, and that is to do with the fencing. This fencing is Barletta fencing. Now, Barletta is a pontoon company that is very high quality. I think their normal pontoon boat costs upwards of $100,000, and I've seen them go for around $150,000. These fencing panels are from Barletta. Now, they are not brand new. I've been able to get them used and try to piece it together. Now, when I was first putting this boat together, I was looking for something unique, something different for the fencing, and I do love this fencing a lot. Barletta makes some really nice fencing, very modern, sleek looking, and I got a hold of these back panels for very cheap. I think I paid $150 for both of them. And when I was talking to the guy I bought these from, he said he comes across these very often, so it shouldn't be too long to piece it all together and get a full set. Full thing for the boat. Unfortunately, that was about 8 months ago, and the only other piece I've gotten is this front left corner piece, and that is it. I haven't been able to get another one for about 4 months now. So I need 3 more pieces to finish this fencing up. It is this front corner piece, the front gate, and the side gate. That is all I need to finish it up. I'm just having trouble sourcing that. I'm bringing this up because I'm asking for your guys' help. If you guys can keep an eye out on your local Facebook pages, I need this front right corner pieces and the 2 gates. If you come across that, you can email me the link here, that'd be great. Or you can message me on Instagram, that would also help. I have contacted a dealer to try to get new panel pieces. A couple issues with that. I need VIN numbers that match the fencing, and I don't have that. I'm guessing because they don't want to sell it to someone who doesn't own one of the boats, maybe. Not really too sure. And also he gave me the price on just the gate itself, and I think it was like a couple grand for just 1 gate. That's a lot of money for just 1 gate. I think I can get almost a full set from Pontoon Stuff, full fencing set for that much. So to quickly summarize, if you guys come across the front corner pieces and or the gates, please email me, because we can't do a whole lot without those, because I need to mount those first, then I can mount the seats and then start figuring out the rest of the build. But there's still some things we can do in this episode, and we're gonna have a full episode for you. First, let's talk about these lights. These lights work great, they were awesome. There's an issue though, that they will not work with the control panel I have from Lumitec. Gratefully, Lumitec has agreed to send me out all the replacement lights that we need for this that will work for the system. All that should be pretty easy to switch out. I already have the wiring all ran. I just have to unscrew it all and rewire it a little bit. Not that big of a deal. But I just want to say a huge thank you to them. That saves a lot of headache for me in the future, because wiring it up without a working control unit would have been a little difficult. So huge thank you to them. Their link is in my description. So many light options. They even sent me out some lights that we're going to install up at the top. Really light this thing up. So that is the first step in this. We're going to be swapping out the lights real quick. I believe there is 15 or 16 lights that we need to switch out. And then we can move on from there and start working on the top area. There's something I want to build for that. Yeah. Let's do it. Overall, that wasn't too bad at all. Hey, puppies. Most difficult ones to get to were the middle pontoon, which to be expected. It's a little bit of a tight squeeze in there. Overall, though, not too bad. Took a couple hours on each side. And now it all works together and works with my app. On the app, I can control what color and what side if I want to cycle through all the colors. I can do pretty much everything on that app. I'm still learning how to work it, and I don't have it hooked up completely permanently because I'm going to be running the wires up through there. This right here is a control system. It's pretty easy to hook up. I had it hooked up underneath, just not very permanently. I just had it twisted together to get it to work and get it on video. I will be hooking it all up once I get the rest of it all put back together. It's just really tricky to get a battery hooked up underneath there and run the wires. So once I have it all permanently hooked up, then we can go over the app and like what all it can do. And I can figure it out a little bit more. It's just kind of tricky right now. Now the lights are all swapped out and out of the way, we can start working on this back section. We got a lot of room back here and we need to put something there. Now the easy thing to do would be to add more seats just like this. Maybe wrap it around the back section. Maybe have like a sunbed section or something like that. Captain's chair with the control panel and everything over here. That'd be the easy thing to do. It wouldn't take very long to set up, but of course, you know I'm not gonna be doing that. Almost every pontoon I've rebuilt, I have built a bar on it. Now I could give a long drawn out answer to why I do that, but the main reason is I like it. It's my boat. I'm gonna build one. My first pontoon, I built a bar that was pretty long and also had the captain's chair and all the control stuff built into it. That setup was good. I liked it a lot. And then the next setup, I had a bar separate from the captain's area, which was okay, but it just wasn't enough room. So my plan for this build is to go back to my original design of having a long center bar with the control, everything in the back. That was just my favorite layout on a boat I've ever had. Room up in the front for people to sit and relax. Everyone can be around the bar, sitting, relaxing, getting some drinks. You can play cards up on the table. It makes for a very fun day out on the lake. It gets everyone close, everyone playing games. So that's my plan. I'm gonna build a bar similar to the first one, but obviously change a little bit of things and fix a couple of issues I may have had along the way. I was going back and forth on how I want to build it. I was thinking about building it out of aluminum. There's a couple issues with that. It takes a lot longer, a lot more expensive. Not everyone can do it. And a big thing about my channel is I want to make it a little bit more user-friendly. So right now my plan is to build it all out of pressure-treated wood. It's going to hold up over a long period of time. It won't hold up forever, won't hold up like aluminum. For the amount of savings and the amount of time I'm going to save doing it, I think it's going to work out just fine. Design-wise on it, I'm still working through some ideas, trying to figure it out, and I don't think I'm gonna figure it out until I get the frame built. So that is what I'm gonna do right now. I'm gonna measure out how much room we actually have back here for seats, for the gate that's gonna be out here, make sure it's not getting in the way, make sure it's not too long, too heavy, make sure the motor's not gonna be too close to the driver, that's gonna cause an issue. We're gonna figure all that stuff out right now and then build the frame, get an idea. I'll give you guys some measurements on what's going on, and then we can work on it from there. So that is what's up next. Stay tuned, let's figure it out. All right, the framing is done. I'm gonna quickly go over the design I have. When I go into designing stuff like this, it's mainly all in my head. I try to draw it out, but it doesn't always work out. So let me try to explain why I built it the way I did. I changed it a little bit from my last bar I built. Overall, the length is a little bit longer. It's a little bit longer, and also I tried to build it a little bit lighter. What I did is about a bunch of pressure-treated 2x4s. I did that to hopefully save a little bit of room and also save a little bit of weight, because you are adding it to the back of the boat. You want to save a little bit of weight where you can. I went for pressure-treated wood just because it's going to be outside. I think you'll be okay if you use just regular pine. I believe that's what I used last time I built this bar, and it held up just fine, so I think you'll be okay. But let's talk about the major change I made in the back. Let's start with the front area because it's a little bit simpler. You want to keep it as skinny as you can because there's going to be people sitting along the side. So it's going to be hard for people to walk around, because imagine people sitting all right here and you're trying to walk around to get to the ladder, to the back of the boat, or people from the back of the boat trying to get to the front of the boat. It's going to be difficult, so you want to try to keep this as skinny as you can, but also enough room to get underneath, because this is going to have a lot of storage underneath here. It's going to host the batteries and all the wiring, all the controls for everything. So you want to have enough room to get underneath there for any kind of maintenance or anything like that, but also skinny enough to accommodate for everyone else on top of the boat. Overall, the width in the front is 20 3/4 inches width-wise. Height-wise, this whole thing is only 38 inches tall. Moving to the back, it's a bit more complicated. Now right here is the helm. This is where the steering and the controls are going to be. Steering will be a little bit off-centered, and then the controls are going to be right here. Throttle, reverse, everything like that. And then you still have plenty of room for your gauges up here. Enough room for all the basics, everything you need. You don't need a whole lot of space up here, but you do need it a little bit wider to accommodate for all that. Because if it was the same length as this, you wouldn't really have enough room to have all that stuff. And that brings me up to my next point. The last build I had was not very comfortable. You could only drive this thing while standing up, and then once it stopped moving, you could sit down and relax. And that is because you didn't have anywhere to put your legs. I built this thing to where it angled kind of backwards, so your knees were constantly hitting the helm or the bar. So it made it really awkward, and I wanted to make it more of a traditional helm in the back right here. So we have this leg room that you can sit underneath, pretty comfortable height-wise, steering, controls. You'll be able to sit down and drive. Last time it was just a little awkward. A couple other things to consider if you're building one of these. You want to use a hydraulic steering. The original one I used, it was not hydraulic steering, it had the cable, and it was very hard to curve it around everything in the back here. It was really hard to manage that cable and try to run it down without compromising all the wiring and stuff underneath there. So if you're going to go for this route, I would recommend hydraulic steering. The cables for everything else is okay as long as you make enough room out here, and the wiring and everything else pretty easy. But steering wise, you want to go hydraulic if you're going to do this. I think overall, I think hydraulic's just way easier and better to install. I'm not an architect, I'm not a build designer, a graphic designer, or anything like that. So some of this is just trial and error, but for the most part this works, and for my last bar it also worked. This is my second time building this. I love this design. It's fairly easy to work on, especially with all the storage underneath and be able to crawl in there and get to all the wiring. It definitely makes it a lot easier working on your boat with this kind of helm or center console or whatever you want to call this, bar, whatever you want to call it. Just wanted to put that out there. I'm really happy with this design, so hopefully you guys like it too. Once it's all together, you guys can see how good it looks, because I think it looks pretty good. All right, I'm just gonna take a few pictures and post it on here. That way you guys can see all the sizes and everything you need, and hopefully that works for you guys. You probably have to do a little bit of adjusting yourself because, like I said, it did cut down these 2x4s, so sizing might be a little bit off. Just keep that in mind. All right, now that the framing's done, we can move on to the more exciting stuff, such as design. Design-wise, I have it pictured in my head on what I'm gonna do. Kind of hard to explain, so you just have to follow along and trust the process on that. I'm gonna box it all in with plywood, and it's gonna sturdy it up a lot more, and then I'm gonna put the design on top of the plywood, basically. Yeah, that's what's up next. Stay tuned. This turned out awesome, pretty much exactly what I was picturing. Let me go over it and explain kind of everything I did. First off, we boxed everything in and we primed it with some white primer. Then we went over that with some exterior black paint. It's pretty close to black. It's more of a dark gray, but I think when it's outside, it's gonna look even more dark. And after that, I cut down every single one of these slat pieces. This is out of a 2x1x8s. And I cut down, I think, around 16 of those. I think I had to cut down around 16 of those boards, stain them, and then mount them all up to create this look. I was going for more of like a modern tiki style, and I think it looks really good. Now, it's not complete yet. There's a couple more things I need to do. One thing is I need to mount up this door. It's gonna be on hinges and open this way, along with a door latch somewhere down here. Also, I think it looks a little bit plain, so I'm thinking about putting a logo on the side. Maybe, just an idea. Also gonna be some LED lights up underneath the bar top to shine down on it at night. I think it'll look really good doing that. I didn't want to do anything super complex with the logo because there's gonna be seats sitting in front of it. So you're not gonna be able to see it very much, but I think it needs something on the side. Let me know what you guys think. This isn't the actual bar seats I'm gonna be using, just for an example, but I think this is pretty much the perfect height, but I'm also gonna have to add a footrest down here somewhere. Design that out and figure out what I'm gonna do about that, because definitely needed. This right here is my tabletop that I ordered. It's a butcher block. I ordered it online. It was shipped directly to my house. I had to do that because I wanted a specific size. So this is what I went for. It's 36 inches wide by a little bit over 6 feet long. Now for the bar top, there's a little bit of work we gotta do. We're gonna round out the corners, and then also in the back here, we're gonna cut out this little section, leave enough spots for some cup holders, also add more cup holders along the sides for everyone sitting there. At least one cup holder per person. It's a good rule of thumb. But in the back right here, have 2 cup holders in this cutout right here. That way you can access all the steering and controls and everything, not have anything in the way. After everything is all cut out, I want to add a logo in the middle. I think it looks good doing that. And also we need to go over it completely with UV epoxy. That way it holds up in the weather and in the sun. Nothing really damages it. And to pair that with a cover for the whole thing, I think it will hold up really well over time. At least with my other bars, that worked. But all that is for the next episode because this episode is getting kind of long. Overall, this is not a very expensive project to do. I think the most expensive part is the bar top. This bar top was kind of expensive. But actually building the bar itself, I think was right around $100. Not including the paint or anything, but just the wood for it. I believe it was less than $100 to build this. Now that we're back on the boat, I'm gonna be trying really hard to put out more content for you. There's a lot left to do, and I wanna get it done pretty quickly because boat weather is pretty much here. More content coming soon, and also, come here. Look at these puppies. I have a couple puppies left for adoption. I haven't really mentioned much about it, but there's 2 or 3 left available. You can email me for more information. They are Aussie Doodles, and they'll be around 50 to 55 pounds when they're adults. They are currently 8 weeks and should be able to go home once this video is uploaded. So you can email me if you want more information on that. That is pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for watching my videos and liking them. I also have an Instagram. You can check me out there if you want to. If you come across the fencing that I need for my pontoon, please let me know. Email me, message me. Anything you can do to help would be greatly appreciated. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next episode. Say bye. Say bye.